So the Raiders are on the clock at number 7. It's a full 7 round mock draft. Las Vegas, I'm getting you a superstar. This guy has sky high potential. Putting him across from Max Crosby allows him to not have to be the number one right away. And that is Nolan Smith from Georgia. Super athlete, super quick, everything you want in a guy that you can develop and you can let be your number two for a little while, and then eventually be your number one guy in the pass rush game. And speaking of Georgia, speaking of guys you can let develop a little, it's Keely Ringo here at 38. He's listed as a corner. A lot of people think he's going to play safety in the NFL. You guys have had some secondary issues. Get you a guy who can start at corner. You can try him at corner. If it doesn't work, you can move him inside. It makes this pick a lot less of a risk at 38. Keely Ringo is super athletic. Listen, I don't have any doubts that he's going to succeed. It's just a matter of where. Next up at 70 is another guy with versatility. If you can't tell, that's kind of what I'm going for here. I'm trying to get players who are going to be able to make a difference and are very hard to miss on. And at 70, the guy who came to mind was Tyler Steen from Alabama, super smart guy, um, leader on the offensive line, listed as a tackle, will probably be a guard, but you can try him at tackle. Um, he did play in the SEC and was the staple of that Alabama offensive line, so wouldn't necessarily shock me if he is a tackle, but I see him as a guard more. Moving on to pick 100, this guy is a top 100 player. Don't care that he wasn't invited to the combine. It is Kobe Turner. Kobe is a beast on the defensive line. He's from Wake Forest. He's clearly very technically gifted. He's also athletically gifted. He didn't get to show that off at the combine because the NFL did not invite him, which was ridiculous and made me very angry. Um, but moving on to another superb athlete at 109 who did get to show off a little bit at the combine is Dorian Williams from Tulane. Got to see Dorian down in Mobile. He is a beast, dude. I don't know where Tulane keeps finding these super duper crazy athletes, but they keep pulling them out of their hat. And at I believe 109, yeah, 109, you can't really go wrong with him here. Developmental guy, you can use him in special teams. But he doesn't have to play right away. But if he does play right away, he has the athleticism to kind of make it work. It doesn't have to be perfect with him right away. He can kind of come into his own. Another guy with sky high potential who was seen as a first or second round pick before this year doesn't enter the draft last year, goes to Notre Dame to try and make himself a first round pick. That is one Brandon Joseph. A lot of people are really high on this guy. I didn't get a chance to watch him, but I heard good things at Northwestern. He moves to Notre Dame and becomes, completely forgotten about. I don't really know what that's all about, but it, I don't know. It's kind of a wild card pick, and at 144, you can afford a wild card pick with the still 5 picks that you have coming after this. And one of those 5 is a guy who I very much like, Marte Mapu from Sacramento State. Listen, I took another linebacker. I know. I've taken a lot of defenders in this draft, but trust me, some of these guys are going to be very useful pieces for you down the line. Mapu comes in, he automatically has special teams value. But not only that, he could be a extremely good linebacker in this league, in my opinion. Um, I don't know how quickly he will get there because obviously coming from the D2 level, but another guy who wasn't invited to the combine who really should have been. He showed out as a late addition to the team in Mobile, Alabama for the Senior Bowl. Moving on to a guy who did go to the combine and showed out, it is Matt Landers, wide receiver from Arkansas. Super big, super athletic. It's a question of, hey, can Arkansas actually make wide receivers? Or are these guys going to go there and then they're going to come out in the draft and be 10 times better than they were? And I'm betting on Matt Landers improving a lot in the NFL because I don't really trust the route tree that you run at Arkansas at all. So it's going to take him some time. But if you can let this guy learn from 2 of the best route runners in the league, which you just so happen to have in your team, it's going to be a very useful tool for him. At 214, it is Earl Bostic Jr., just a body for your interior offensive line. I don't have much to say about him. He's really just another body to get in there, rough and tumble type of guy, blue collar type of guy. At 220, I had to do it, folks. Get a guy who's basically the Jimmy G of college football, was carried for 2 years, and went to the top of the game because he was getting carried. Stetson Bennett. Um, I don't like Stetson, but if he's gonna go anywhere, it feels like he has to go somewhere that has a relation to the Patriots. And learning from Jimmy G on how to get a giant contract by doing nothing is the perfect spot for Stetson Bennett. And lastly, at 231, Tyler Lacey, big D lineman from Oklahoma State. Um, he's just another body to throw in there. That's really all you're looking for here at 231.